On this week's episode, it's all Amazon Prime with Rings of Power
and Samaritan,
plus all the other pop culture news of the week.
This week, Amazon did two things. One good thing and one terrible thing. Among all the things they did.
Yeah.
They probably did more
I think
good
Amazon
things.
did a few terrible things.
And more. I'm pretty sure they did all the good things.
Mm-hmm.
And all the bad things too.
Yeah.
This is such a big company and they deal with so much. So
yeah. But only two that we care about for this.
Yeah. So the good thing was this new superhero movie starring Sylvester Stallone named Samaritan. And as usual, Stallone is only doing what he always did, right? And he delves into the superhero realm this time.
Yep.
Even though he was on the MCU.
That's right. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah.
He's in
Guardians of the Galaxy too. So he does his own on this one. The terrible thing is the Rings of Power, which they brag the Lord of the Rings of Power, which, come on, that's already a big mistake. But let's start with Samaritan, the Sylvester Stallone movie. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it was fun. I did find it pretty predictable, but this film does what I think Sylvester Stallone does best, which is point the camera at like the forgotten dregs and outcasts of society and let them be the heroes of the story. We see it in Rocky, where like Rocky is just like this, I mean, he's not really a bum, he works hard, but like nobody cares about him, nobody's interested in him, like he's just at the very, very bottom. Or in Rambo
First Blood.
Yeah, Rambo First Blood. He's this, veteran. He plays truck drivers and like all kinds of characters that are just sort of not who usually make it center stage. And so he does that. This is set in like the projects, like there's a lot of poverty and everything. It's not really about poverty. It's just like these are the main characters of the show, and that's something that I really appreciate about Stallone in all of his films. I think it's a good thing, and he does it well.
Yeah, it's a superhero movie, independent. It's not based on any written source material. It was written for the movie, and Stallone pretty much does that most of the time. I can't remember anything he did that was adapted.
Yeah.
But anything, people wrote this story and made it come to life in a movie with Stallone, action movie, a superhero. There's like funny moments, but it's not MCU like jokes. It's actually
it's not goofy.
It's actually kind of dark and tragic.
Yeah.
For some reasons. Stallone does Stallone. He's this one. He's like old, so it's like this grumpy old man, tough.
Yeah.
That has to deal with superhero issues, and you will see the movie is clean. There's not a lot of blood or language. I forgot the rating, but it's definitely not R.
It's not. Yeah, it does deal with things like like drug dealing and gang violence and some stuff like that. But there's not a whole lot of blood or gore. I mean, it is violent. There's a lot of like punching and kicking and punching.
Yes, PG-13.
Yeah.
So it's clean. It has a twist at the end. One of the things that the people that watch superhero movies community appreciated on this one is like it's straight to the point. It tells a story. It's not woke. It doesn't feel like it's preaching anything. It doesn't feel like the casting of the story was created to proselyte. It's pure entertainment, and Stallone does that since he was
been doing it for like 50 years.
Since he was doing like
Oh my
When I
gosh.
shift his head,
Oh.
it's like turning a switch.
And oh my gosh. If you like cornball, punny action hero one-liners, is this the film for you? So many.
Yes.
Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
It was, oh, wow.
Oh, there was some that it was missing, right? We were watching it, was talking. I was like, he should say that.
Yeah.
Because it would be perfect. Because he's
Yes.
not only is the guy that lives to the 80s and through all that. But the movie was appropriate.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was entertaining. We recommend. If anything, not spoiling, is it's just one of those stories, and some of the greatest stories happen quite like this. It's not an origin story. It actually
Correct.
jumps in the middle to.
I would say it jumps at the end. It's
I
like
mean,
after the end.
but that's what I'm saying. If they could make more as his return, his
Sure.
change. So it's in between chapters. If anything, is in between chapters on his third act. Let's call it that. But it's Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and several other stories that don't go to the origin. They do discuss that through animation, comic booky sequence, but it's not very clear. So if anything, this would be a good fifth chapter, and they could make more. Stallone is known for doing sequels. He did several for Rambo. He did several for Rocky, and they are entertaining. They are popular. It's Sly. It's he knows what to do. He's in this industry forever, and he shall
He's put blood,
remain
sweat,
there.
and tears into this industry.
Yeah. And it's a fun movie. It's a I don't know why it never made to the theaters. I don't know if it was a deal for streaming. Because
I don't know if it was
Amazon. Oh no, he has his audience. And being a superhero movie would grab some more people. I don't know. It's not summer, so I don't know how that play out, but it definitely doing well. And the as Stallone is, there's a Samaritan. Okay, as Stallone is, the critics didn't care much, but the audiences are loving it, or at least appreciating. The critics have low esteem for that, but the audiences are putting up there. So,
which feels pretty standard for Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, it feels pretty standard for pretty much everything. The critics loved The Last Jedi, and the audiences hate it.
I guess.
And then came the next one. The critics hated it, and the audiences loved it because at least was trying to fix what came before. And we see that all the time. Like Rings of Power that we're gonna talk about. The critics are calling the most beautiful thing since eyes were created. Anyways, Samaritan. Sylvester Stallone. It's available on Amazon Prime. And that's a good thing Amazon Prime did this week.
Also on Amazon Prime, The Rings of Power. And they did some special events at some theaters across the country where Prime users were invited to, or had the opportunity to see the first 2 episodes in the theaters. So we took advantage of that because most things are better on the big screen. And I have mixed feelings about it.
And this one was big
In.
screen. It was like the XD, the Cinemark equivalent of IMAX.
Yeah.
So because one of the critics, it's almost like a script. You see some saying exact same thing. It's like seeing the biggest screen possible. I was like, it's the exact same wording. I guess maybe it became an expression. But anyways.
I will say, visually, I feel like they nailed it. There's beautiful costumes, set design, effects. There's a lot of really beautiful stuff happening. Credit where credit is due, Peter Jackson, and I've been trying to remember the name of the concept artist who worked with him. But there's extraordinary artists who worked with him on the Lord of the Rings trilogy, anyway, basically a lot of this has already been created, not just by Tolkien, but by Peter Jackson and his team. And they've kind of picked up from there and have based it on that, which was a good decision. So visuals, I thought were really good. There's obviously a lot more to a series than just the way it looks, but visuals, awesome.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, there's some problems with the visuals too. I'll get to it, but it's like there's some really beautiful things, especially in the beginning when they go to the first age of Middle Earth. If you read the books, you go Valinor, the Pelai Mountains, and Aman, or the Valar, the gods live, and where the elves were living until they left. In the books, they left because a completely different reason from this show. But anyways, it looks really good. But there's some problems with visuals. Visuals too. If the dwarves look really good, the elves, they are like there's sort of a standard among the dwarves, but the elves there's not only about race, but the books are very clear. They are tall and fair, and if you forget about fair, they should be all be taller than man. And then on this, there's one that's almost as tall as a dwarf. So visual things, there's like, anyways, I wonder if they're gonna underpower them, because that's the thing in the books, because we only deal with elves. We only deal with elves. They are strong, and you see Legolas kicking butt by himself. It's like everybody's suffering. Kahadras, the snowy mountains, and Legolas like
what do I see with my elf eyes?
Yeah. So because they are a lot around humans, there's already feel these elves are not, the most powerful, which they should. So there's that. The first thing you see is like, these elves are maybe not super elves, or elves as they should be. But visually, there's sequences, and when we see the two trees and Valinor, it's like beautiful. But it's like a couple seconds, because then the story jumps thousands of years in the future to the second age of Middle Earth. Where you want to go next to talk about visuals?
Well, before we get into the problems, I just want to be fair to it. The other thing that I unabashedly really just purely enjoyed was getting to see the dwarves. I feel like this is the first time the dwarves have gotten justice on screen, because in Lord of the Rings we have Gimli pretty much by himself, and he's like, oh my gosh, we're going to Moria, and then they get to Moria and it's all destroyed. And then in The Hobbit, it's like wandering, exiled dwarves. But here, we finally get to see the dwarves at their heyday. And so they really developed a lot of this. And again, mostly visual, but for me, this was one part of the 2 episodes we saw where I wasn't feeling super annoyed. And just everything I saw was like, yes, this is cool. Their armor, they have these cool masks that they wear. Their weapons, their culture, everything was so cool. Should the ladies have had beards? Yes. At least based on the one joke that Aragorn makes in the Return of the King. But I'll let it go, because it was really cool to see the dwarves as more than a wandering, exiled race.
Yeah, I
really enjoyed that.
In Peter Jackson's movies, we see Moria completely amply devastate everybody. That on this one, we see Moria populated and prosperous before the fall.
Wealthy and vibrant and just so cool.
Yeah.
So that I really like. And I feel like the dwarves, again, they just looked right. They looked like what we've imagined, what is described in the books. It was great. But there were a lot of things that I struggled with.
Yeah, since you're talking about dwarfs, I'm gonna start One of the first problems I saw is the Silmarillion, the book that tells the story of the first ages. Actually, tells all of them, but focus on the first ages of Middle Earth. Tolkien goes through the Valar and the creation, in the high divinity Iluvata, and the children of Iluvata, the Eldar, the elves, and the I can't remember the elf name for man, but the man. And there's a lot about elves, and then comes a lot about man, and then in the middle you have dwarfs, because they live there, and their creation and the participation in the story. Okay, so there's that, and it feels like this show is taking too much to handle. They only have to do with the elves because they primarily has to, and the enemy and the orcs and all that. Dwarves, fine. Man, and there's a problem with the man. They dealing with the bad side of the man. The Easterners that follow Melkor, Morgoth, and they followed Sauron. And at this point, you didn't see anything of the good men, the Dunedain, the Numenorians. We know we're gonna see, but you're already putting the action on one side of the story that's barely not there. Plus, they bring hobbits to the story, so it seems like they have a lot of to take care of, and sometimes get, I don't know if soapy is the word, but it kind of drags because they have to give attention to everybody, and focus, people, focus. If you have the money you have, you might have, I don't know, 10, 15 seasons to develop. You don't have to bring everything to the table now.
Yeah.
So that's out of the gate one problem that I noticed. I'm still not talking about the narrative story problems,
but we'll get there.
They are big. So there's that, which it's a big one. One of the things we might see, and I read some critics, some Uber fans, some paid critics talking about, is a masterpiece, is great, is better than Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. Back in the day,
objectively false.
Back in the day, there was this in Hollywood, amongst actors and producers, while working in productions, they would do movie star, and they would have to do TV. It's TV, he's doing TV.
Yeah, it seems like less than.
Anyways, so, and the productions were visibly, TV productions were not as good as movies, because you could tell. That changed. With the rise of cable, the rise of HBO, their slogan is it's not TV, it's HBO. And streaming does that in some cases really well. That equivalates to TV, to movies, and some might even be better. Anyways, so you have the natural differences. This one does not feel like movie quality in the production aspects, maybe, but storytelling, it's the old TV format. The episode are very episodic. You're not gonna be able to watch 10 hours straight, because there's a lot of over explanation, introduction, and in 2 episodes that we saw, it was the way some people say, it's wow, this might be Peter Jackson split in 10. It's no, it's a TV show. It's better than broadcast, but it's not like HBO level because of production aspects, but mostly because of writing and directing.
Yep, that is definitely where it falls short, which is a real shame, because there is a wealth of incredible source material that they could be drawing from. to be fair, Peter Jackson set the bar extremely high for Tolkien adaptations, but yeah, it feels, so much of this just felt flat compared to other things that we've seen, compared to what you expect from Middle Earth.
Yes,
So.
and concerning the story, there's some major issues. First of all, the stories in Tolkien lore like take thousands of years. They long. They not, Anyways, so in this one, it seems like it's gonna focus on the character of Galadriel, which is a strong woman, which is a good woman leading character. But the Galadriel they put on the show is not the Galadriel from the books. They took so many liberties. They changed her so completely that it's not her. Might as well they would give her a different name. Maybe that's the big twist. Season 1, the end's like, but I'm not Galadriel. I mean Sarabriel.
It's really frustrating. This really should be called like the Rings of Power, inspired by Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, and not like because her character is so completely different, and it shows, like, you can feel it right away. I have not finished the Silmarillion. We have 2 small children, and it's very difficult for me to get more than 5 minutes without being interrupted. The Silmarillion, you need to like really sit with it. Anyway, that's a whole set of other excuses. The point is, I haven't finished it yet, but like, I didn't even need him to tell me this didn't happen in the books, because it's obvious. And you'll see it. It's like this isn't right. This doesn't feel right.
Yeah, for the sake or for the excuse or fallacy that's like to improve the character, the hubris,
the unbridled Icarus-like hubris to look at Tolkien and say, you know what, we can do better. But no, you can't. You can't.
Yeah.
Just facts.
With the
we can do better than this unbelievable mythology that this genius spent decades of his life creating. No.
With the failed attempt to do that, they created a very generic, strong leading lady that we've seen in other movies. And there's a scene in the beginning where she's talking about her brother, how her brother died. And true, she had brothers and they died, and he's with his soldiers, and that story alone could be, I don't know, 1 season, but it cuts from that and moves her to Middle Earth, and then she goes Cassian Andor is like, I'm fighting this since I was 6 years old. It's like, oh no, you didn't, because
and see, here's the thing, because this is based on what I am hearing, based on what he has told me. The real Galadriel. I didn't
read the books. I didn't read the books because Tolkien, you don't read, you study the books.
Yes.
And I studied the books several times.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, the Galadriel in the books is a powerful, dynamic, interesting woman. They didn't need to make up something or write something that feels like so flat and boring and like, this must be what women want. This must be what a strong female character is. So I am frustrated about that. I feel like we deserve better. Because even on top of all that, she's been stuck in like by the second episode, she's stuck in like this long story arc that like, it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. Nothing's getting developed. We're spending so much time on it. And why? I don't know. So the payoff had better be good, because right now it is. And that's the problem. Boring.
And that's the problem with the payoff. We know what comes next. Unless they change completely, like they did in Game of Thrones, they move away from the books completely. Yeah. But we know that how Sauron will fall, and it will not be by her hands. Like she wants on this one. Let's talk about a little bit about. You want to talk something else about that?
No, I've just got one more big beef.
Which is
this entire thing. Her entire character is summed up in the phrase, "I hate Sauron and he must be stopped." this is like everything. This is her like raison d'être. Like everything about her and everything she does is this. I have to stop Sauron. So how do we get from here to Sauron made a ring of power? I will totally put that on my finger. It makes no sense.
Besides the fact
Galadriel is going to be like, yeah, I'll take one of those rings. Thanks, Sauron. This is a great idea.
Yeah. Besides the fact that she in the books she didn't get involved because she believed they couldn't win because in the order of things in the Tolkien verse, the Eldar are inferior to the Maiar and the Valar, and Morgoth, the big enemy. In the beginning, he's one of the Valar, and Sauron is one of the Maiar. But the question is like she doesn't want to go against Morgoth because that's the big enemy, and Sauron is like a henchman for it, more or less like that. Anyways, not getting into details. Let's talk a little bit about expanding a universe. There's like several good ways of expanding a universe. Star Wars did that terrifically through books, comic books. Comic books itself, they expand. Superman, but Superman is non-stop comic books going out there because they expand. And to expand on the story, it doesn't mean to prequelize it to forever in the past, or sequelize it forever in the future. Because they live in a new universe, or even in a planet, and they don't live by themselves. And what they do and what they don't do affects the lives of many. So put in that way, you can make a story. There's all through. As a matter of fact, there's a game coming. There's all through the eyes of Gollum. The entire thing is. You could make a movie. I don't know if that would be super popular, but you could do books. You can do comic books. You could do series. And Gollum is a tough one. You could get another one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Gollum's running around for centuries, and we know a little bit, but there's like a lot of story there that isn't told. So there's genuinely something to. Expand. Yeah.
As long as you don't change the character, and you can have new characters to come and work. You could learn more about Digo.
Yes.
We could learn more about the first people that. When he killed Digo, it's like how he reacts. Could expand on that, but not changing. Star Wars did a terrific one. We watched Rogue One, and following the traditions of the books and the comic books, they expand on the Star Wars universe with one premise: the Death Star plans were stolen. Let's tell that story.
Yeah.
No Luke.
Part of the story.
No Leia. No Darth Vader. The story. Well. In the beginning, there was he's not a main character on the show.
Correct.
So the story was about the rebellion. This group of people stealing the Death Star plans, and go from that. The expansion, it doesn't mean it's completely away and disconnected from the main story. Because the main characters might have influence and impact on the stories of those new characters. So the story might converge a little, but not completely to the point that, we're going to see...
we're not rewriting characters. We're not changing storylines. The Mandalorian is another really good example where you take something that we just don't know a lot about, and then you expand on it, you embellish it, you fill it in, and make the whole universe bigger and more interesting because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, anyways, so this show does not adapt properly, does not expand properly.
No, because they said they're doing an expansion, and right now they're just like shoehorning in everybody from the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah, the hobos.
We've got the Harfoots. We've got hobbits. We've got... Well, I don't want to spoil anything.
Too late. There's a guy that this session we've been was like two episodes. In the end of the first episode is like this big moment, this big
It's like meteor crashes to.
yeah, a big cliffhanger scene for something is not clear, is not established, but it pretty much looks like is a Gandalf, which is completely wrong because he only came to Middle Earth at the Third Age, you know, when Sauron was, you know, coming back. Sauron was destroyed by Elendil, Isildur, the Ring of Power was lost. So when he was coming back, the Valar sent the Starry Five wizards, Mithrandir, which is Gandalf, Kunir, that's Saruman, Radagast, and the two blue that are not named, are not known much. That could be in this show because, you know, we don't know about them.
What? Do you mean we could expand?
We could expand on that. But no. Anyways.
Or we could shoehorn in every beloved character from the first ones, even though they don't belong there, and then completely rewrite them.
Yeah, changing them to have roles that they didn't have.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let's make Elrond be a direct participant on the creation of the ring. Even better, on the creation of Barad-dûr. But besides,
I just can't imagine somebody looking at the written works of Tolkien and saying, let's do more. Let's just change all of it.
They could expand so much and still
really
tell a great story. But besides all that, besides forgetting the source material, it feels like a show. It doesn't feel as grandiose as it should be because it's Tolkien. And forget about Tolkien. Dealing with those types of characters, even if they are not Tolkien, it should feel more exciting, more. It doesn't. Yeah.
So we will continue to watch it. And there will be things that are lovely and a lot of things that are frustrating. But for what it's worth, it's on Amazon Prime. Everybody who's really enjoying it, what I've seen, most of the people who really enjoyed it have not read the books. And I think the best summation I've seen was from a TikToker who was like a deep dive, like deep Tolkien lore guy. And he said, this is great for the casual fan.
Yeah, so, it's sad they wasted a big opportunity to create something with the money they're investing.
Seriously.
But they also benefit. There's one big aspect. They benefit on the nostalgia. The kids that watched that when Lord of the Rings first came out, and now they are young adults. They're adults. And the judgment is you know in shadowed by
not that bad.
No, I'm not saying they're completely blind. I'm saying like the mist of nostalgia,
Okay.
might make them accept. Like finally we're gonna see Galadriel back. It's like wait, there's not a Galadriel. Anyways, but which is it's tough comparing to Harry Potter. We were talking about like the kids that read those, they grew up with those books. When the movies came out, they were like they were still growing up.
And the books were still coming out too.
Yeah, the books are still coming out. So there's not a lot of time to judge the entire process. In the case of Tolkien, in the case of the Silmarillion, which this show is very loosely based, there's like decades. People that read those books when they're kids or when they're young adults, they're like uber adults now. They're like grandpas and grandmas and also older adults. So there's decades.
Yeah.
You can't come after decades and say Galadriel was Shira, the Princess of Power. Yeah, but it's Amazon put a lot onto this. They cannot fail, and it's actually going to be tough. They have to have a huge audiences for the money they invested on. and they're already having glitches. I've read the news like basically
Yeah.
now. The movie, the show came out like now. We saw before it came out. We saw on the 31st, right?
Yes.
And the show comes on the 1st.
Which
But it's already glitching. I guess glitching is a good thing because I mean it's a lot of
Everybody's-
people watching. Or maybe not. It's glitching
I don't know.
maybe with 2 people watching because systems are dead. And yeah, Bezos was ultimated by his son. Said, "Don't screw it up." So I'm sorry to disappoint your kid, but your father, like, he screwed up your family, and your mother, he screwed up this one too.
Yeah, I don't know how much of this we can put at Bezos' feet. He did say that the producers ignored his notes, but I don't, like, Bezos is a business guy, not a filmmaker, showrunner guy.
Yeah,
so
well, someone said something. Someone said
know.
something very interesting. There, it's like, I wonder if they had given the kid the chance to make the show. How much?
Sure.
Because one thing about Peter Jackson is he was a fan.
a super fan.
He loved it. He might speak Elvish.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the news a couple weeks ago saying that I've honestly considered hypnosis to erase the fact that I made it so I could watch it and appreciate it as a fan.
Yeah.
Seeing on the screen what I my entire life saw in my
Mm-hmm.
dreams while reading the books. So I don't know. Maybe the kid.
Yeah.
Some other people from the cast, including the actresses Galadriel, came out to say that it's like, what was the main thing she said? That
She was
she was
surprised.
surprised how the character was very different from the books. But then, because it's what pay her bills, she came up with stuff saying that
Yeah,
Tolkien,
this is definitely the biggest role she's had.
Tolkien wasn't very clear. He was confusing. He was nonsense. So it was open to interpretation. That's what they're doing. So
Yeah, that's... Oh, bless her heart. To be
Anyways,
fair, she's doing great with the role she was given. I have no complaints about the actress whatsoever.
yeah,
But I
they
have
gave
words
but
for
they,
the screenwriters.
they gave us the wrong role.
Yeah. Anyways, there is other stuff happening in the world.
Yes.
Including a trailer.
A trailer for Dune Awakening, MMO, online MMO for Dune on the same universe as Dune, from what's the French guy's name?
Denis Villeneuve.
Villeneuve. Yeah, that we saw a couple
Denis
years ago, and it's working on the next one, and this one is in the same universe, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it really does. In fact,
Open world
world
MMO.
survivor, they call
Yes,
it. Yeah.
yes.
It looks good. It took me about a minute. Well, I don't know, 30 seconds into the trailer to be sure that it was a video game.
Right.
The animation is so good. And there's the voiceover. I don't know if it's like straight from the books, but it definitely sounds like a lot of what Paul Atreides says to himself. He's got a lot
So that's
of
supposed to be
monologue.
Paul?
I think it's Paul. Maybe it's not necessarily Paul.
Okay.
Paul does grow up a lot and age quite a bit
Okay.
in the first book, so it could be. But anyway, the voiceover is like very much the kind of like inner monologue we see a lot of in Dune, like so much. So it looks good. I'm into it.
Okay,
good.
so now you're gonna go through the news. There's a lot of news, so you're gonna go like blink you miss
Yeah.
type of news. So let's go.
Okay. Cancellations and renewals. Resident Evil.
Gone.
Yep.
But we knew that.
We did. HBO Max's Harley Quinn series.
Renewed.
Yay!
Yeah, good for her.
Yep, it's a really fun series. House of the Dragon also renewed,
Yeah.
but not without kerfuffle.
What's a kerfuffle?
Kerfuffle's like shakeup.
Oh, what's a kerfuffle?
Their showrunner, one of the showrunners left.
Ah, that's right. He said he was doing this like for 3 or 4 years apparently.
Yeah, it's been a lot of
And
work.
It was time to. So good for him. He's gonna go do other things, which is always a good thing.
He is. So another Game of Thrones veteran is stepping in his place to continue working on the show, but it's renewed, which is good. The first 2 episodes are great. NBC is considering dropping its 10 p.m. primetime hour.
The move would save them millions of dollars. they would give the spot back to the local affiliates, and but that might hurt some shows that come after the prime time, like the late talk shows, and specifically Jimmy Fallon. You're gonna come back to that, but about talk shows, I don't know if I put that.
You did.
Greg Gutfeld is beating everybody. He's the king of night shows. He just beat Colbert. That used to be the top one by some
I don't know.
500,000. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah.
Okay. Eugenio Derbez. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. Anyway, this is the star of Acapulco. He underwent a very complicated operation following some kind of accident.
Yes, there's no details. The wife gave a note to the press. She gave information to the press saying that he went to surgery. He's recovering, but there's no details. Their privacy. I guess they choose not to give away any more information.
Which,
so our hopes
respect,
and prayers for him and the family.
Very much so. Chris Rock was invited to host the 2023 Oscars.
But he said no because he doesn't like to be slapped.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And it'll be nice to talk about something else with the Oscars. So
he said no, and he made a joke about how was the joke? It's like, if I would go back, so of course I would not go back to the Oscars. It would be like Anthony Carl Smith going back to the restaurant.
Oof.
Yeah, and people kind of hate that. So
well, that's Chris Rock. Okay, the Narcos producers are at it. One of them is being sued for over $1 million.
So the Brazilian José Padilha, the director of Elite Squad, among other movies, the deal was 50-50. Apparently he didn't get what he deserved, was part of the deal. 50. So he's going after the other producer,
Eric Newman. So good luck to them. Narcos was a great show. They deserve to be well paid and fairly. Also over at Netflix, Taylor Page and Joseph Gordon-Levitt are joining Eddie Murphy in a sequel.
Oh, is Netflix?
Yeah,
Netflix. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. I thought Murphy was in bad. I mean, it had good deals with Amazon. I thought it would be because they did the Prince.
That's right.
Coming to America. I said Prince because in Portuguese the movie is called Prince in New York.
Oh.
Yeah. A Prince in New York.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's different. Well, this is not his Coming to America character. This is Axel Foley. That's right, folks. You heard it here. Axel Foley's coming back.
Beverly Hills Cop 4 is going to be called Beverly Hills Axel Foley. And hey, if anything is like, come on. We've been waiting for this for I don't know, decades.
Yeah. That's not the only actor we've been waiting for a very long time. Lindsay Lohan. That's right. Lindsay Lohan is coming back for a Netflix rom-com called Irish Wish.
Yeah. Apparently she goes...
she's a bridesmaid who heads to Ireland when the love of her life
gets engaged to her best friend.
They also describe her here as the Mean Girls alum, which just, wow, what a slap in the face to The Parent Trap. One of the most iconic films of my childhood.
But it was a different Lindsay Lohan.
Was it?
She was a little girl.
I know, but she burst onto the scene. We were all obsessed with her and her fashion and everything she wore and that soundtrack. And wow,
okay.
that
was
in
a different continent.
I'm just
apparently a different continent.
For millennial women, Lindsay Lohan was a big deal before Mean Girls ever came out.
Okay, I was living down by Mordor, so I didn't know what was going on here in Gondor or Numenor.
Just The Parent Trap. Okay,
the remake, right?
Yes. Yes, it is the remake. A rare case when the remake is as stellar, if not better, than the original.
Have you seen the original?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I watched it all the time as a kid.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I could still recite parts
Anyways,
of it.
moving
So
on.
good. Okay, Jason Bateman is talking about joining Taron Egerton in a Netflix film, a thriller called Carry On.
Yeah, that's all we know. And yeah.
We know that they both have
Bring
great
it on.
thriller acting chops. All right, let's talk about naming your kid Thanos.
It's going on. It's a trope. It's a trend. A lot of people are naming their kids Thanos. I don't know why.
That makes no sense. Like, if you named your kid Daenerys or Khaleesi before the last season, like, okay, fair enough.
I know. I think even after,
But Thanos,
in the case of Daenerys, I think even after, because Daenerys, she was a strong woman. She got what I wanted. But besides that, it's a pretty name. You know, I could totally see some people, but then for misreading, I could totally see people naming their kids Wanda, even after, you know, everything.
Yeah, but Thanos, like, we've known from the beginning, this is a bad man. He's a very bad man. Anyway, so that's a thing that's happening. The WandaVision, you mentioned WandaVision maker is in early talks to direct another Marvel movie.
Fantastic Four, yes.
Yeah.
And for that, he dropped the Star Wars sequel.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about Namor.
So Namor, that he looked terrible, we already knew, we all saw. But Mike Deodato, which is another Brazilian, in this case, he's a comic book artist. He worked for Wonder Woman. He has a beautiful art. He worked for Marvel, for DC. He posted a picture of him semi-naked, with his back, just like Namor shows in the trailer. And then he questions, like, "Hey, if I am, you know, a nerd, an artist, you know, not a swimmer, not a hero, just a humble artist that, you know, sits down and draw, with 65 years old, look like this, and he looks tough. How can you justify this guy that looks like never seen a poo in his life?" So yeah, that caused controversy. He's not wrong, but yeah, there's not anything that could save that anymore. It looks bad. And Marvel says we'll probably call everybody racist because calling it look bad. But hey, it's on them.
That is their go-to. I will say, comic books and comic movies are not well known for accurate body types of any kind.
What are you talking about? Oh, talking about movies or
movies, or I mean.
No, Henry Cavill, he's Superman.
Okay, sure, Superman. But I'm saying like, but Namor's not really human either, right? Isn't he half whatever?
He's a mutant. Yeah, he's the first Marvel mutant. So, but he's super strong. By super strong, he should look super strong.
I guess I'm just saying that comic books are not well known for like any kind of physical accuracy.
Well, if anything, we learn more and more that the great art of adaptation, which is like not really great art because there's very few people that do it successfully, is only dying more and more, because the more we see adaptations, the more they suck.
Or maybe we're just getting old.
What?
Anyway.
No, it's a come on. It's a visual medium. You look, you make. And it's like, oh, he's tall and blonde. What if we make him a black midget? You know, it's a coherence. Anyways,
I guess. Anyway, Taika Waititi is not coming back for Thor 5.
Yeah, after the failure in the box office of Thor 4, he's out, and he's like, yeah. Maybe he was kicked out. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Or maybe, yeah, there are much better things for him to be doing with his talents.
Yeah, like gay pirates.
You know what? Yeah, actually, yes.
Sorry,
more
there's a
gay
fly
pirates
here.
and
That's why I'm
Thor.
doing this.
Yeah.
It's not a special signal for the gay pirates.
Okay.
It's just a fly that flew by.
Okay, so Waititi's not coming back, but industry insiders are, I don't even know what that means, but word on the street is Cavill is coming back.
So as Affleck is being said that the Aquaman is gonna go to reshoots and he's gonna put Affleck in there. We saw a picture of him on set, but they also might include Superman, Henry Cavill. There's an extension of those rumors that Zaslav wanna invest hard on the restoration of the Snyderverse, even though another insider said this week that the studios regret releasing the Snyderverse, but that's a big BS. Because the people that are leaving the studio now, the people that like fought for the Snyderverse never to be released, but end up releasing for some sort of public opinion pressure, and they're leaving. They're basically getting kicked out and fired. Now they're saying, talking trash. So BS. But the mainstream media is eating it. Like, you see that everywhere. If anything, I like it. I love it because once it goes against all that, and Zaslav announces the Snyderverse, Cavill's back, and Superman, Batman, Ben Affleck is back. It's like, it's like a big surprise, which is always good when you don't know everything, when you're surprised, and especially when the surprise is good, not like Namor looking like ate too many tuna. Oh, he can eat fish. Anyways, moving on.
Yep. Ezra Miller is also meeting with Warner Brothers execs, presumably about the future of the Flash. So,
and apparently it was a good meeting. They had good time, and there's even people already talking about he staying for future Flashes. I wouldn't go that far, but if anything, the Flash might see the light of day.
Yeah.
And
man, I hope so.
With some reshoots as well. Another one from WB is the fandom, the virtual convention fan event that DC Comics did is no more. They canceled this next one and they declared that with conventions opened everywhere, we can go and see. We're not gonna do that anymore.
Right,
we're gonna take advantage of the cons and festivals and all the type of thing that fans have access everywhere.
All right. And then last for DC, Brendan Gleeson has joined the cast of Joker 2.
Yeah, it's a good one. So we'll see.
We will see. All right, the Goldbergs, which should have ended this season. This should have been a season or series finale, but it wasn't. They've decided to officially kill off Jeff Garland's character.
Yeah.
Which also should have happened already.
And the first episode of next season will start 10 months after Murray's dead. And Erica, is that her name?
Yeah.
And Jeff gonna have a baby. So there's enough to keep Beverly Goldberg occupied. But it's definitely a big loss. It
is a big loss, especially because the show could have ended so perfectly. And it would have been very graceful, and we would have had to go anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so either way, big changes on the Goldbergs, and
Okay. Also leaving shows are SNL veterans Alex Moffat and Melissa Villaseñor.
Yeah, is following the list of other people that are leaving the show, and kind of corroborating what Roy Schneider said this week. But he went a little bit farther back. That said that SNL died a while ago. He said that when he saw Kate McKinnon singing Hallelujah, he was waiting for the joke at the end. When there was no joke, he said the show died there. Anyways, the show passed beyond that. But Kenan Thompson was saying on the day that the show should end with season 50.
Kenan Thompson?
Kenan Thompson.
If Kenan Thompson, who is he's been on the show probably longer than anybody.
Probably.
If he's saying it should end,
everybody
listen to the man.
Everybody has a cubby and he has an office.
Yeah. That's fair.
Anyways, maybe it's time. Well, SNL lost a lot with the rise of the internet. It's there's some jokes that come on Saturday night, they're already old on Tuesday before. So so it might die, it might change format, it might go to different. Anyways,
we'll see. I think moving to a different format could work for them.
Yeah,
that could work. Okay, Francis Ford Coppola continues to work on Megalopolis, and they've added Talia Shire, Shia LaBeouf, and Jason Schwartzman to their cast.
Okay, his sister and his nephew, Tyler Shire and Jason Schwartzman.
Okay.
Among Adam Driver and many other,
Mm-hmm.
Nathalie Emmanuel, Forrest Whitaker, and a lot of other good people. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a big one coming because has been a while since put out stuff.
Yeah, no kidding. Another big name coming back to the screen is Nicolas Cage, who's going to be in an A24 comedy. What? Called Dream Scenario.
Yeah, his last movie he showed that he does
gosh, it was
really
so
comedies
good.
really well.
Yes. Oh, he's great.
I mean,
Okay.
not that he didn't show before, but he
Mm-hmm.
proved again.
Yeah. Oh, spectacular. Okay, now they're working on a movie about the GameStop incident called Dumb Money, and the cast could not be more perfect. Like if you said, I'm making a movie called Dumb Money, this is basically who I would think of. Who's going to be in this movie, Alex?
So, Seth, no Seth?
Yeah, Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah, Seth Rogen, Paul
John-
Dano,
Uh-huh.
Sebastian Stan. That proved, we saw Pam and what's
Pam and
her-
Tommy.
Pam and Tommy,
Yeah.
and Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson and Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Those two, like that. Anyway, so.
And there's like
That's looking
several
good.
the whole GameStop phenomenon. There's like several productions for it. This is one. There's one documentary series on HBO Max, and there's more coming.
Awesome. Emma Roberts is working on a NASA rom-com called Space Cadet. That's going to be on Prime Video.
Yeah, that reminds me of an '80s movie called Space Camp. Fun.
Oh,
We're gonna watch one day. You're gonna like it.
am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's like a girl from Indiana Jones 2, Temple of Doom. Kate Capshaw. There's Leah Thompson. There's like they're all like
Okay.
young girls with the young boys. Oh, there's one kid. Oh, I was saving this for when we watch, but there's one kid called Leaf Phoenix
As in
on the
Joaquin
poster, and even on the DVD. If you buy today, there's Leaf Phoenix. If you go to IMDb, it's Joaquin Phoenix.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
We done?
Yeah, no, we got one more. Twitter is finally adding an edit feature.
The edit feature. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's going to change things.
Okay.
We'll see.
We
All right.
You can change the past, because the past is gonna come to haunt you.
You know what? Given how
If you're
often
making a
people
joke.
dig up random crap from like 10 years ago on Twitter, this is probably going to be an okay thing.
I don't know if people see it before you edit. It's too late.
I guess, but I mean, I don't
That's
know.
this trend. I don't know if you saw. It's like I was a dirtbag teenager.
Yeah, Teenage Dirtbag.
What is that?
It's like, I think it's based on a song, and so people just show like themselves
Pictures
as
when
teenagers.
they were teenagers.
Yeah.
I saw Jennifer Garner did it, and Chris Pratt did it. I
Yeah.
was like, what's like? I saw two, and then I saw two more. I was like, what is this? This is something I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, it's just a song, and so they're putting teenage.
I was like the ice bucket
pictures.
challenge. Everybody's like,
Yeah, like it's social media. That's what
okay.
people.
Yeah, I was just curious about it because.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it for this week.
Mm-hmm.
We come back next week with more. We're gonna finish. No, we're not gonna finish anything, right? There's nothing to finish.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Not
we're
that I
gonna
can think
start.
of.
There's nothing to start. We
I don't know,
we
we're still
just
watching
started The Patient, the Hulu show with
Ooh.
Steve Carell and what's the bucket?
Donald Gleason.
Donald Gleason. And hey, FX put some great stuff.
Yeah.
That one is not.
They're doing well.
No, Inception. We
Oh,
can-
and what is it? 5 Days at Memorial? Or?
oh, I think we still have 3 more because
Okay.
I thought it was 5 episodes.
That's right.
Apparently
But
it's 8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
that one.
that's it for this week. We come back next week with more pop culture news and our views of reviews and inside of what people see, what we see, and may the
Okay.
force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.
Bye.